Hello and welcome to the CanCulture podcast. I'm Zack Pothier. In a bit we'll be joined by Leah Jensen to discuss Osheaga and all the great Canadian talent you can see there this summer. But first, we're joined by Rachel Surman, our assignment editor here, who's written an article on a walk-in tattoo clinic. So, Rachel, I guess the first question is, how do you come across this place?
Kind of funny story. I was actually looking to get a tattoo, but didn't have a lot of time on the particular Sunday. So I just Googled who's doing walk-ins, like where can I go get a tattoo right now. And Okey Doke came up on my search because every Sunday they have walk-in tattoos where it's strictly walk-in. So it's just whoever can come in time and get an appointment. So it's pretty cool.
Right. And why are they doing this?
They said that they are doing it because they are so popular that they get booked up like months in advance, like the artists that work there. And also, The Pearl is another Toronto tattoo shop, and they were doing walk-in Sundays, and there's such an overflow from that Okey Doke picked it up too. So there's actually a couple of them now doing it in Toronto.
Right, and I guess this will be a two-part question, but I mean, some people have some very elaborate tattoos, not just like the girlfriend's name or something. They're really, they're dragons and all that, or something really complex. Can they get it done in, such a short time, given that it is a drop-in, or is there sort of like a cutoff?
Yeah, there's definitely a cutoff. So it starts at 12 p.m. Is when they come to work, and there's people lining outside like for 2 to 3 hours before that, like trying to get an appointment. And I'm not too sure, like I don't think they can do a full tattoo in that time because they are trying to get so many people in that same day. But the one girl who I was with, Riley Cussin, so she got a huge native headdress tattooed in her arm, so she just got the outline on the walk-in Sunday, and then a couple of Sundays later she came back and they finished it up for her. So it's kind of like a two-part thing. Right,
yeah, and I mean I guess they do that in other instances, but you're saying people line up for 2 to 3 hours. I mean, did you get a chance to talk to these people, like what made them want to line up for so long?
Yeah, there is one woman who just wanted to get two small kind of Japanese tattoos on her wrist, and she said that it had just been such a, like she could not get an appointment anywhere, so she was like, I'm going to take this Sunday and I'm going to wait in line and just like test out my chances, and she got in. So I think it's like how badly you want to wait for that tattoo.
Yeah, and I'm assuming the quality doesn't suffer at all, even though it's in such a short span.
They were all beautiful. I was there for like 6 hours. All the tattoos were amazing. I took so many pictures and I was blown away.
Right. Now, I guess the question is you first came across these by Googling, a place to get a tattoo done. Have you gotten one done yet?
Not at that particular place, but I have about 4.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, because, that seems to be, this is sort of a more broader thing to get into here for a second is, a lot of people, I'm no cultural expert or whatever, but just sort of nosing people my age, it seems to me that tattoos are really sort of coming back after it sort of was seen as a dirty thing for a while. Like, everyone in my high school was like waiting until they were 18 and then they'd all sort of jump out of bed in the morning and line up and get a tattoo. So, what made you want to get, not just one, but 4?
Honestly, I got my first one when I was 16 and I just loved it. They're addictive. It's about once a year I get like this craving for a new tattoo, and I've never regretted them. I think they're awesome, and it's true, like it's definitely become more mainstream. Like you see people in business suits but like with like sleeve tattoos. Like it's definitely a cultural thing now.
Yeah, and so what are your 4 tattoos? If you don't mind sharing.
No, not at all. So I have, this is my first one. It says fighter, and it's on my wrist, and it's the cancer sign because my grandma and my mom both had 2 different types of cancer each and both fought them. So it's kind of like fighter to them, and also like if I get it, I'm sure I can fight it off. And then I've got a sailboat on my ankle for when both my grandparents passed away. Just a little thing for them, being at the cottage with the sailboats, getting ice cream, that sort of thing. I have a heart on my ribs that I got with my friend in Osheaga Beach. It's kind of like a joke thing, but I love it nonetheless. And on my hip, I have in cursive Soul Sister with my best friend of 9 years, Loretta. Right. So I will never regret that one.
Right. So, it sounds like you put for each of these 4 a lot of thought into them.
Definitely.
The people that you saw, were these people that, was this just sort of like on a whim, or did they come with very concrete plans, of what they wanted, and each one had a sort of special meaning behind it?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely went there expecting that these people would just come in and be like, I'm going to get a tattoo today, but actually the most part of them had been thinking about something they really wanted, and then it turned out that Sunday was like the best day for them to just go and get one. Like that was their free day. So they were thinking and definitely made like a conscious decision of what tattoo they wanted.
Right. What were some of the examples of some of the ones that you saw?
This guy, he didn't want me to use his name, but he got this awesome swooping blue jay on his forearm. It was so big, so colorful, vibrant. He's from Toronto. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Yeah. And he had that done in 2 hours, and it was amazing. Riley with the headdress, like I only saw the outline, but she sent me pictures of the final native headdress, and the colors, like vibrancy, like just amazing. There's Japanese tattoos on the wrist. And there was a big bad wolf cartoon character on a guy's arm, and that was pretty sweet.
Yeah. So I guess one last thing just to clarify. So they're still doing this. This wasn't a part of anything. They keep doing this. It's been very
every
successful.
Sunday.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, thank you very much, Rachel, for coming in. We appreciate it. And of course, you can read our article on CanCulture.com.
Thanks so much, Zach.
Joining us now to discuss Osheaga is our music editor and newly minted web editor, Leah Jensen. Leah, why don't you begin by first telling us a little bit about what Osheaga is?
All right, so Osheaga is it's a 3-day outdoor music festival. It happens on an island just outside of Montreal. That happens August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And some really, really big international names make their way to that festival. So big outdoor 3-day festival in Montreal. It is a very, very fun time.
And who's headlining this year?
This year's headliners are Outkast. So they just recently did a sort of reunion show. So it'll be Outkast, Jack White from the White Stripes, and then the Arctic Monkeys. So those are the 3 headliners they've got in place for this year.
So looking at your article, I see there's some tremendous Canadian talent. Why don't you tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, absolutely. We do have a post on the website right now that highlights all of the Canadian artists that are performing. So we've got sort of the big names: Sam Roberts Band, Hey Rosetta, Chromeo, bands like that. And then there's some quite a few DJs and electronic artists that are at Osheaga this year. There's Ryan Hemsworth, there's Cyril Hahn, there's quite a few on the sort of electronic dance side of things. And a lot of indie Canadian bands. I think one of the more popular artists that's would be interesting to see is Mac DeMarco. He's from Duncan, BC, and he's been gaining a bit of popularity in the underground sort of indie music scene. So I think he will be someone to watch out for at this year's festival.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. You refer to him as a current-day Lou Reed or a one-man Velvet Underground. I was wondering what you meant by that.
He's got that sort of raspy, bluesy, Lou Reed-esque attitude and persona. He's, it's kind of a murky sound to his music, but it's definitely artistic. And, I don't know. If you listen to his album, then I think you would also agree. It's very, early Velvet Underground sounding.
But see, then there's the purist in me that says there can only be one. But anyway, you mentioned electronic dance music. I heard the other day in the news, at least in Toronto, that they're going to ban those events at the exhibition because they're worried about people doing drugs. Because like Osheaga, they're all ages events, so they're worried about, I guess, young people having an overdose or something. Is this a concern at all at Osheaga, given that it is, of course, a all ages event?
Yeah, I think security is pretty tight at Osheaga. I think, and although it is an all ages event, mostly it is sort of young adults. Sure, there'll be some kids there, but for the most part, it is sort of a younger generation, but sort of young adults. So I think security will be pretty high. Trying to get things like that into the festival, that would definitely be a challenge. So I'm sure they have to come up with dealing with situations like that each year. But I don't think I think just because it's on such a big scale that they do really cover their tracks in trying to make sure that doesn't exist there. But having a DJ at an outdoor music festival it would be just those really get the crowd going and dancing, and those are, I don't know, they're fun. They don't happen often, so when they do, it's fun to take advantage of.
Right. Alright, so switching gears somewhat, you're now the web editor here at CanCulture, so congratulations.
Thank you.
So I'll just explain very quickly to the listeners what it is that you'll be doing in your new role.
Okay, so as the new web editor, I will be helping Vivian, who's our managing editor, oversee publishing on the website. So I'll be also giving things like a final once over before they finally do go to publish. And a big emphasis on this role is making sure that our each piece has sort of strong or necessary multimedia. So really trying to take things from just a text-based post to have complemented multimedia. So that's where I come in. I'll work with the writers on developing multimedia pieces. We're going to be doing a lot more interactive maps, some infographics, lots of photo galleries, things like that. So with my new role, or with the web editor role, it'll just be trying to expand and improve on our content by making it a lot more shareable, a lot more visually interesting, appealing in that way. So working with writers, working with other editors to sort of make every piece a bit more comprehensive by incorporating new elements with the digital side of journalism these days, trying to incorporate those new ideas into CanCulture.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Leah. You can, of course, read her article on Osheaga on CanCulture.com. Thank you very much for listening. I'm Zack Pothier. Talk to you soon.